Complexity requires an even greater focus on simplicity. My friends, we see stocks up for the day, bonds up, Bitcoin up, gold down. Let's jump into our first chart, as we almost always do, the S&P 500 as depicted by the exchange traded fund SPY. What do we see happening? Green up candle forming, higher high, price percent oscillator getting close to crossing over. We won't call that until the end of the week. Derivative oscillator heading up too. What's up with the 2-day? Well, it portended this up move. We saw it cross over back on Friday the 18th, and things have just bounded up, 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 looking quite nice. This latest candle, and again, we're connecting three. Nice trend line, derivative oscillator heading up, price percent oscillator heading up. Look at this. I mean, all these candles connected as we see price continue to move up on that half day too. At the end of the day, moving up, spiking up a little bit more. Derivative oscillator, which had been spinning down, gaining a little bit at the end of the day. So starting off the week nice for the S&P 500. Let's move on to the NASDAQ 100. What do we see going on there? Well, it is also moving up. Derivative oscillator has flipped over. We see things moving up with the candlesticks reaching a higher high. We go to the 2-day. Same thing like the S&P, moving right up. Price percent oscillator heading up at a nice steep angle. Derivative oscillator gaining lots. And we look at the half day, we can redraw that. There's what I needed. This is how easy it is to use TC2000. Just amazing. And we can connect, what, 3, almost 4 candles. So going up quite nicely. Like the S&P, we see the NASDAQ 100 spiking up at the end of the day. Derivative oscillator gaining a little momentum too. So on both of these, we might have weekly vertical crossovers by the end of the week, and those weekly vertical crossovers are typically very good for us. What do we see with 20-year bonds? Up for the day, 0.85%. Now we do see a red down candle forming. Why would you have that starting the week off if TLT was up? Because this is a Heikin-Ashi candlestick and it shows us the average pace, not reaching a lower low. But you do see that price percent oscillator still heading down, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum, continue to oscillate from those many weeks of, well, 3 weeks of down movement. Then we go to the 2-day. What do we see there? Well, we see, again, a red down candle forming after that prior week solid green candle. We do see on this 2-day chart reaching a lower low. Price percent oscillator heading down, derivative oscillator heading down. We go to the half day, and that is where we see that movement in the morning, losing a little bit in the afternoon, bouncing off the red signal line on this half day chart, heading up. We'll try to draw something here reflecting that. There we go. And derivative oscillator gaining some upward momentum. So that is where we are on 20-year bonds. Still a lot of downward pressure on it on both the 2-day and the weekly. What about gold? Gold was our big downer for the day, 1.82%, our only downer for the day. And of course, what do we see happening? Red down candle forming. Don't forget, gold peaked most recently back on Friday the 11th of March. Down that next week, green spinning top last week, and then starting this week off going down. Price percent oscillator still positive, but heading down. Derivative oscillator positive, losing momentum. 2-day, we can see we're really spiking over these last 2 days. Got a red spinning top, solid red, derivative oscillator negative, price percent oscillator heading down. We had that 2-day crossover going down back on the 18th of March. So again, got some downward pressure on that half day and on the 2-day rather. Well, and on this half day also we can see where ended the day with the price percent oscillator flipping over, going down. And we will redraw our trend line to reflect that. Derivative oscillator still holding on to a bit of positivity, but some weakness in gold. Overall, We still, things are still up. We haven't had a crossover yet on the weekly, but we do have weakness, particularly with that midterm, that interim, the intermediate rather, chart, the 2-day. Now, let's move from there and go to Bitcoin. We just did not have enough for that weekly vertical crossover last week, but looking like we're going to have it this week. Up for the day, depending on where we go for charting, we can go to the grayscale Bitcoin up 8.75%. If we look at the various Bitcoin futures, BITO up 7.84, BTF up 8.03, and XBTF up 7.95. So as we look at things, we see a great deal of up movement. Nice big green up candle trying to cross over this week, heading up on the weekly. We go to the 2-day, and of course it crossed over going up back on the 8th, and of course that's the 8th of February. Went up, then down, then up again, then down, and here lately been heading up nice and strong for the last 8 days. Price percent oscillator spiking up, derivative oscillator gaining lots of momentum. Hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have a weekly vertical crossover. What do we see on that half day? Well, let's look at the half day on something to give us more accurate figures. We can see where things really popped up in the morning and looks like managed to move a little further up in the afternoon. Derivative oscillator spiking up, price percent oscillator heading up. Very nice, very, very nice. So Bitcoin getting me quite excited. So we'll continue to watch how all that is going. You might be wondering about what's up with Ethereum. Well, grayscale Ethereum, like Bitcoin, Ethereum also trying to cross over, going up. So far, looking strong for the week. We will keep an eye on that too, as I've been providing you with my Charting Crypto podcasts. You guys know how much this crypto market is led, of course, by the biggest leader, Bitcoin, and it always seems like Ethereum there is trying to follow in suit. That big incoming tide tends to float all boats, so we'll keep an eye on things. That is where we are, folks, as we end the day on Monday and get into another exciting week of practice trading. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.